Darklords are fairy monsters that can special summon a lot and reuse their resources from the graveyard. Up first is Darklord Morningstar. When this one's tribute summoned, you can special summon Darklord monsters from your hand or deck up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls. And then while you control another Darklord monster, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. And you can also send cards from the top of your deck equal the number of Darklord monsters on the field, and if you do, gain 500 life points for each Darklord card sent to the graveyard. So this can help get more monsters on the field, and of course gain life points. One Darklord Desire, you can tribute summon this card by tributing one fairy type monster, and once per turn you can target one monster your opponent controls. This card loses exactly 1000 attack, and if it does, send that target to the graveyard. So this can remove some problematic monsters. 3 Darklord Ixchel, you can discard this card and one Darklord card, draw 2 cards. This helps you go through the deck more and to get some of the traps that you might want into the grave. And then has the effect to, you can pay 1000 life points and target a Darklord spell trap in your graveyard. Apply that target's effect, then you shuffle that into the deck. So a couple of the monsters have this effect. 3 Darklord Superbia. This one is nice because when this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can target one fairy type monster in your graveyard, except Darklord Superbia, special summon that target. So this helps to get more monsters onto the board. 1 Darklord Zerato. If you have 4 more dark monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 dark monster instead of the 2. And then you can send 1 dark monster from your hand to the graveyard, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. But if you did, during the end phase, destroy this card. But it can help you clear a lot of things. 3 Darklord Nurgle. If your fairy monster is attack defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. And then also more importantly, you can pay 1000 life points, then copy the Darklord spell trap in your grave and shuffle it back. 3 Darklord Nastin. You can discard 2 other Darklord cards, special summon this card from your hand. So this helps you to get certain cards in the grave and then just special summon, which is really nice. And then it also has the effect to pay 1000 life points and copy the Darklord spell trap to shuffle it back into the graveyard. 3 Indulge Darklord. If this card is normal or special summon, you can take 2 Darklord monsters from your hand or deck with different levels, except Indulge Darklord. Special summon one of them to your opponent's field in defense position, now the other to your hand. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of the turn except fairy monsters. But that part doesn't matter because they're all fairies. But this can help you get any of the Darklord monsters you might want into your hand. 2 Capricious Darklord. During the main phase, you can activate this effect immediately after. Tribute summon 1 fairy monster face up. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can make all monsters your opponent currently controls lose 500 attack and defense for each fairy monster on the field till the end of this turn. So this can help lower your opponent's monsters, of course, and it's just another Darklord name. 1 Archlord Christia. If you have exactly 4 fairy monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, target 1 fairy monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand, and most important thing is neither player can special summon monsters. So you can set this up somewhat easily because you send your Darklord monsters a lot of times to the graveyard, and then the really powerful effect, not special summoning, is really good. And the most important spell is 3 Banishment of the Darklords. Add 1 Darklord card from your deck to your hand, set Banishment of the Darklords. And then you can copy it from the grave too, so you can get a couple searches per turn. 3 Darklord Contact. You can special summon a Darklord monster from your graveyard in defense position. This is how you do a lot of your special summoning. 3 Trade-In. A lot of the monsters are level 8, so this helps you to see some of your more powerful spells. 1 Monster Reborn. Target monster in either graveyard, special summon it. This helps you get out more Darklord monsters. 2 Valhalla Hall of the Fallen. Sometimes you can't always special summon a Darklord monster, so if you control no monsters, you can special summon a fairy from your hand. So it helps to get out the first one. 1 the Sanctified Darklord. Send 1 Darklord monster from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard. Negate the effects of 1 effect monster on the field until the end of this turn. If you do, gain life points equal to its attack. Now, life points is nice because you have to pay a lot of life points to activate the effects from the graveyard. And also, if you use the copy effect, you don't have to send a Darklord monster. So that's a pretty easy way to get the effect. 3 Darklord Rebellion to send 1 Darklord monster from your hand or face up to the field to the graveyard. Destroy 1 card on the field. So this helps to get through back row or any monsters. 1 Darklord Uprising. Send 1 Darklord monster from your hand or face up to the field. Fusion summon a dark fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. Then you can gain life points equal to the original attack of the monster sent to the graveyard to activate this card, but you will usually activate from the graveyard, so you probably won't get that effect. 1 Darklord Enchantment. Send a Darklord monster, of course, from your hand or face up field to the grave. Take control of 1 face up monster your opponent controls until the end phase. So that part is kind of cool to interrupt your opponent. And some things to consider, of course, are Allure of Darkness, because you can draw 2 cards, then banish a dark monster from your hand. So this helps you get through the deck, and all of your monsters are pretty much dark. And then Darklord Ukobek can send a Darklord card from your deck to the graveyard. So this is really nice to set up your graveyard. And for the extra deck, we have the first Darklord as the fusion monsters. It requires 3 dark fairy monsters. And your opponent cannot target fairy monsters you control with card effects. And then if this card is fusion summoned using Darklord Morningstar as a material, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls, which is pretty good. And also, if you didn't use that effect, you can, during the main phase, pay 1,000 life points, special summon 1 fairy monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. This helps you to get out more Darklord monsters. 1 Condemned Darklord requires 2 fairy monsters. You can tribute summon fairy monsters that require 2 tributes by banishing 2 monsters from the graveyard instead of tributing. So this can help get out some monsters. And then a really good effect is you can discard 1 card, take 1 Darklord monster from your deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. So this can help get you whatever monster you might need, and then put any traps into the graveyard. And then during the end phase, you can gain 500 life points for each fairy monster on the field. And then 1 Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. It just requires 2 effect monsters. You might take one of your opponents sometimes. This is a good one to go into to get rid of it. And that's the deck at only $25.11. It can be pretty powerful by setting up a monster negate and a pop effect, but it can also brick. So just keep that in mind. Thanks for watching.